Hey, it's Michael Saul, also known as Tiny, with the market video for the week of April 14th, 2014. So let's take a look at what happened last week. So last week we closed below the 50-day moving average for the first time since back in early February. And you can see here we have a possible double top here. I mean, it is coming from all-time highs, and there's some Elliott wave folks that want to call this the 5 of 5, the end of the move here. Right now, I'm still giving the bulls the benefit of the doubt that the highs are not in, but I am certainly not going to fight what looks like to be a correction here at a minimum. I don't think we move into the bear market from here. Right now, it's really still, well, I mean, we'll see here. I mean, the highs were 189.70. We're down to 181. I mean, it's, let's call it 8 points. I mean, that's not chicken feed, but it's also not, oh my goodness. I mean, it's not even 5% yet. So it's really still just a pullback. Now, the pattern doesn't look like it's just a pullback. Okay. It doesn't look like it's something like this. It looks like, it's a possible double top and that we could be going into a correction. And if that's the case, then we have the 200-day moving average as a naked target down there. If we throw some fibs up, okay, you see we're at 50% of this last move from the February low to the all-time high. So the deal is, how do you play this from here? Do you just start piling on the short side? And I mean, that's not the way that I like to trade corrections. What I like to do is I like to wait for bounces, and then I like to sort through stocks that are setting up appropriately based on some criteria I have, and then go from there. Okay, I don't like to just, all right, we broke through, let's just pile on. Yeah, it would have worked if when we broke the 50-day on Thursday, if we would have shorted, hey, we would have, been able to pick up some money. But a lot of times, especially in this monster of a move, okay, that didn't work. All right, if you're trying to jump on the bearish bandwagon, you wind up getting trapped. Now, the super guru is already coming out, pounding his fist on the table, calling for a major correction and don't be a buyer and all this stuff, which tells me that a bounce is probably sooner rather than later. He's just about always, his timing is atrocious. He catches a couple of winners and thinks he has the market figured out again. So that is, and I know, like, I joke around about it being maybe a specific person or a specific group of people, but it's the point is that these it's over aggressive sentiment that I'm really pointing to. Okay, and when you have this over aggressive sentiment, then that's what you really have to watch. Because when that starts to come in, we're probably closer to a bounce than we are to continue downside. Now, I will say I'm not expecting much from this bounce. It would surprise me to see us bounce and go right back to new highs from here without another at least retest of this low. But if we were to get a bounce up here and it was acting well and we did offset, let's say, last Thursday's candle, then I would say, hey, you know what, maybe we're ready to rock and roll and go back to highs. But if the bounce comes up lame and we come back to the 50-day moving average and we can't get above that, or we can't get above 50% of this candle, then I'm going to be watching that for a shorting opportunity. And I'm going to see how far we can get down. I'll see if we can get down to the 200-day moving average. For those of you who've been listening to my videos, I don't know if I've said it much in the weekly video, but I have talked about that I thought this year would set up a really nice sell in May and go away corrective move. I didn't think we'd go into a bear market, but I thought we'd get a nice corrective move. Now, obviously, if it starts in April, I'm wrong, because I'm looking for more of a sell in May backdrop. And it doesn't have to come May 1st. But the way I was thinking is that the way we have been running, and we're just running with no real deep correction, that things would line up and people would say, you know what, it's time to take some profits, and the sell in May and go away seasonal background could come into play. I'm not sitting there saying that the way to time it is always sell May 1st, always sell the end of April, and no, that's not what I mean. Okay, but I just thought that this year had a good opportunity for us to come into a high around the May area, whether it's mid-May, whatever it is, late May or early May. But if it started early in April, then I definitely missed the top, which I don't care about, because if you're going to sit there and pick tops and bottoms, you're going to be a real frustrated market timer and trader. But I would not be surprised if we go into some correction before May. In other words, I'm sorry, if we go into some bounce back off the correction into May, and then maybe when May comes, maybe that accelerates it to the downside as well. Okay, so again, I don't want to confuse anybody. I don't think the V top is in. I don't think we're going into a bear market here. We're very close to corrective numbers, so I think we're, as far as percentages, so I think we're going to more than likely go into a correction here, whether it comes from here or after a bounce. I do think that we're close to a bounce here, so I am going to be watching for any more weakness to stretch down here for a potential buying opportunity. But I really want to see us get above that 50-day moving average, get above the 50% of this candle before I get excited again about the bulls and say, hey, you know what? Now we're gonna, we're rocking and rolling again, and we're gonna go right back up to the highs. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at now. For right now, it's a pullback. Looks like it's gonna head to a correction, but I think we're gonna get a bounce before that happens, and I wouldn't be surprised if we got a correction to the pullback into May, and then maybe around that time frame they come in and give us a smackdown. All right, any questions? Tiny at stockmarkettrendsex.com, and feel free to sign up, get the daily newsletter. I will talk to you in next week's video. Have a great trading week, and have a great Passover if you're celebrating. It's a 4-day week, by the way, because of Good Friday. Also have a great Easter if you're celebrating that. All right, talk to you soon.